Hey, what's up friends, and welcome back to the Gentleman's Journey. In this one, we're gonna be rehandling my axe. Now guys, this is a Council Tools Forest Service Special Boys Axe. Now don't let the name fool you, this is a workhorse. I actually built this sheath for it. I picked this up at a flea market. I got a pretty good deal on it. And the thing is, what they like to do when they built these is they put a plastic wedge in there. Now guys, that's just absolutely terrible. Poor design, absolute terrible choice, and it just slips out. So what I did is I went out to the hardware store and got myself a little wooden wedge. So I think the best way to get this off for you guys is just to take it outside and start chopping some wood, because that's usually when it starts slipping. So let's go out there, we'll get the wedge out, and we'll come back in and get after it. All right, friends, I think after just a couple swings, this thing's already coming loose. Look at that. Already not cool. Yep, we're about to lose her. We are about to lose her. All right, friends, I think we look no more. Check that out. So this thing has completely came loose and it's unsafe. So we're gonna take this off and we're gonna do something about that today. Well, there it is, guys. Just like what normally happens, that head comes loose. So now we have a loose head, and what I'm gonna do is kind of tap it back on, and I think that plastic wedge is gonna pull right out. All right, so that thing's already sticking way out there for us, like a loose tooth. Yep. Alrighty, I don't know why they went this direction. This is garbage, absolute garbage. So now, all right, that's what we came for. Now guys, again, I'm not gonna change the handle out today. We're just gonna stick a new wedge in there and see if it's gonna work for us. If this isn't gonna be a long-term fix, then we're definitely gonna be rehandling this thing. You can kind of see where they cut through. You didn't end up following that with the wedge, split that out. So at any rate, we're going to take this apart, size it, because it's too wide right now. So right now this thing is obviously way too wide. So we're gonna kind of match it with this old one. So we'll head over to the saw and cut this off. So I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna grab my pencil and hold that one up next to it because it was a good size. Got that marked. Now we can head over and cut this off. Well, we got that cut and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's the right width and everything, and I'm able to put it in there just temporarily to see, to make sure. And you know, the wood, the handle doesn't quite feel the eye of the axe head, and this does. It feels a little bit better. So I think we got that just the perfect fit. Now something I want to show you is I put this back on because when you put the head on, there's a bit of a shelf right there. So there's a shelf that it lands on, and we want to come and tamper that down. We want to take that off a bit, and so I'm going to use a chisel, and we're going to just work at that a little bit to give it a bit of a bevel, and then that way when you put that head back on, it's not just hitting a shelf. but it should actually work its way down the handle a little bit more, and then that'll cause a little bit tighter of a fit because it won't be just resting on that shelf. It'll be choking up on the handle. Well, friends, I'm going to keep working on this shelf. So I've taken the axe head off a couple times, and I'm trying to get this little shelf or lip off. We want the head, when it comes back on here, we want it to actually come above this and kind of make a new shelf, if you will, but start curling at the wood. So taking my pocket knife, something, you know, there's a few different tools for this. Of course, you can grab a draw knife, you can grab a chisel. Mine happens to be incredibly dull. So we're going this route today, and we're just pulling away, because if I go this way, there's a fear that I'll hook that ledge and tear a big old, well, kind of like my thumb just did with that, tear a big old chunk out of this handle. Now I have some concerns with this handle, so we'll see how long she lasts. Right now, it's not the handle necessarily, it's that plastic wedge. So this plastic wedge is gonna be gone, and of course there's the wood one. So guys, I'm gonna keep working away on this ledge. This back upper part is the one that I'm most concerned about. And after I get it at a place where I like it, of course I can grab some sandpaper, a sanding block, whatever you have, and really work that out some more. Or if you had a power sander, of course you could use that. So I got a bit of work to do here. I'm gonna keep working out on that shelf. We'll come back to you guys and show you how the head's fitting. Alrighty, I'm excited to see how it fits, guys. Let's grab that, make sure we got everything going the right direction. Let's see how she's fitting. Alright, so that's a really good test, guys, to see where it's lining up. Ooh, you know what? We're looking pretty good. It's still not quite on the shelf. Yep. Oh yeah, we got some baby curls right there. So you can see that we've gone past the shelf. Alright friends, I just did the test, and now you can see some of those curls. So we are going to work that out. That's kind of a new shelf, if you will, that's being built up. So let me just get this off. Alright. Yep, we got ourselves, it's a little past the old shelf. So I'm going to work this out a little bit more. So we're going to come up past this shelf. We're going to come a little further down the handle. And I was really happy to see we're not hitting on here much. That's the spot I was really worried about. And I'm really happy to see that we didn't end up hitting over there too much. So we're just taking out, because I think on this next one, we're going to have it right where we want it. Let's check it out, friends. Oh, guys, check it out. Friends, I think we nailed it. All right. That is looking like a lot tighter fit. We're showing proud right here, which we weren't before. So you can see that the head has gone down like 1/8 of an inch. So I'm really happy with how that's setting. Friends, I think we're on to something. I really think we're on to something. So check this out. You can see that wedge is gonna fit in there mighty fine. I'm really gonna like that. Now, of course, to get to the point of the video that's controversial, and that's how we're gonna treat it as we're putting that new wedge down in there. Now, friends, what I'm gonna do is this Danish oil. I really like this stuff. Basically, it's a mixture of boiled linseed oil and then some other kind of tree oil. I'll put it down here across the screen. At any rate, what a lot of guys are doing nowadays is they're grabbing some wood glue and putting on each side. I saw a guy that would put some linseed oil down the sides and glue up the middle. We're gonna go a bit old-fashioned. We're basically just doing linseed oil. So I'm gonna pour some down in there. Now the thing that I like about that, of course it's coming out the bottom. Let me grab a rag. All right, we're back. The thing I like about that, friends, is we want the linseed oil down in the wood. And so what better way to get it in there than when we have this thing apart, putting it directly in the hole. So basically, if you get your wood wet, it's going to expand, but then when it dries, it's gonna contract again. And so your head's actually gonna be loose. The opposite happens with like boiled linseed oil. It actually keeps expanding. And so there's really nothing better for an axe, for a wood handle tool, than boiled linseed oil. Again, we're gonna come back, we're gonna do this whole thing. So friends, in hopes of not cracking our new wedge, what we wanna do is pound on an even piece of wood. So I have this old scrap here. I'm gonna use that to hit, because if I'm hitting here all day, eventually I'm gonna either not go straight or end up cracking that wood. All right, it's not going anymore, so I'm just gonna check things out. You'll see my little pencil mark here. It wasn't on this side, but I was seeing it on the other side. And so that's kind of a key takeaway, is I have a pencil mark of where I thought it should be landing. I did it a little bit high, and I knew that I didn't wanna go much higher than that pencil mark. If I did, then I would probably start busting stuff out. So I'm really satisfied with how that worked right through there. You can see my pencil mark, we're right on the money. Next thing that we're gonna do is trim this off. Now I'm gonna leave this proud because I like that wedge there, but we're gonna take this top part off. So let's head back over to the saw and get that done. How sweet is that, guys? I really like how that's standing up a little bit proud. I really actually hope that it's gonna mushroom itself over, and that is a beautiful wedge. Just imagine, not 20 minutes ago we had a plastic wedge in there and this thing was flopping around. So that's the way it should be, guys. So probably another point of contention, guys, and that's whether or not to use a wedge. Now, this little kit came with these flat kind of wedges that you're probably used to, but I have this conical wedge or barrel wedge, however you decide to call it. So I'm gonna go with one of these. Now the problem is you really don't have anywhere to go from there. The thing is, if you set it right, the theory is you don't need a wedge. Now I hope to like to think that I set it right. You know, we went through the steps. I tried to get it even. Again, looking down the barrel, things are lining up. I'm curling. I've actually went down like 1/8 of an inch. So we are on the head a lot better than we were already. I shouldn't have any dramas. And again, once you put a wedge in there, you really don't have anywhere else to go besides rehandling it. That's when guys get an old screw or nail and you just start wedging everything in there you possibly can. I think I might have a middle ground. I'm gonna do one, and then that'll leave me room to add another later. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know which route you guys would take in the comments below. Maybe you think I ruined it. Maybe you swear by these things. Guys, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's the fun thing about the gentleman's journey. Maybe a couple years down the road, I'll be setting a handle and it'll be a little bit different. You know, I'm not dying on this hill. This isn't something that I swear by. If I was handling this brand new, and if I cut the wood myself, put a new wedge in there, I think I would try to run it without that, and then I could throw these in the glove box of the pickup or something like that, have them in my toolbox ready to go in case you're out in the woods and all of a sudden it's getting loose. Maybe you can add that extra. So I'll probably have an extra wedge on me, conical barrel wedge down the road in case I need it. I'm really hoping this one will be good. Let's put that in and then we'll wrap her up. So I'm coming towards the back and then I'll have a little bit of extra room. See if you guys can see this wedge a little bit. It's kind of bigger at the top and smaller at the bottom. But at any rate, we're going to put it towards the back, and then I think we'll have enough room later for another one. All right, friends, I'm not being outsmarted today. All right, friends, I told you we are going to be sitting proud, and that is what I'm going for. That's kind of the school thought that I want right now. We're going to be mushrooming out, and I really like that look. Check that out. There's only one thing left to do, well, maybe two. That's go out and beat the heck out of this thing and see how it handles. And then when I put it away tonight, we're going to put some more boiled linseed oil on there. We're going to stuff as much as we can into the head here. And I think it's going to be ready to go for the next season for whatever I throw at it. Let's head back to the wood stack and see what this thing will do. You know, another thing about this boy's axe is that I'm in the middle of reprofiling the head. If you guys are enjoying this content, not only like the video, but let me know in the comments if you want to see more of that. So they actually sent this out, or whoever had it before I did, because don't forget, I got it used, ended up having a really bad profile in here. It comes with a pretty big cheek, and this is a splitting and it's a limbing, and you know, a lot of guys use it when they fell a tree, they'll limb it up, but you can also take down a tree with this, and so really you want it to bite in a little bit more. This cheek and then up here to the bit is so wide that it'll still split, but you want that profile to be a little bit sharper, so I'm going to be doing that probably in a future video, so let me know if you want to see that, but right now we got to see what this thing can do. All right, friends, so why not do the outro while I'm winded? Guys, I am so stoked about this. I mean, honestly, it is so good. That's just a few whacks though, obviously, you know, we got a long ways to go with it, got a lot more work for it. I'm gonna rest it in some linseed oil. I'm gonna put my sheath back on. Friends, it's another thing, if you wanna see this, I made a ton of these, I mean a ton. We got a whole nother thing going on. Haven't told you guys about, but I would love to rock one of these out on a video for you. This one's kind of cool. I made it adjustable. Nice leather there, I dyed it and whatnot. So we can talk about one of these. Lots of stuff coming up on the channel. I sure hope you guys will consider sticking around. I'm having a ton of fun. I really hope you are too. Till the next video, God bless, and hey, don't forget to give those boots some love from time to time.